This morning on Today's Woman, what size do you wear? Any woman who's ever bought a piece of clothing knows the ugly truth. A trip to the dressing room can be painful when almost every designer on the planet sizes their clothes differently. Now, as NBC's Janet Shamblian found out, one woman is trying to change all that.
No, because I'm wallowing in self-pity.
What woman hasn't been humbled in the dressing room?
I don't know what you expect me to do.
There's nothing in this whole closet that'll fit a size 6, I can guarantee you.
She's a lady.
In the world of women's clothing, size is fluid. One designer's 2 is another's 10. So maddening, 55% of women say they refuse to try on clothing in stores.
The only solution for the marketplace for women is to have one standardized fit across all brands and for all retailers to adopt it.
That's the dream of Cricket Lee and a sizing system called Fitlogic.
The way it works is it's like a decimal system. So you take your size and then you add your shape.
Shape 1 is like Reese Witherspoon, Nicole Kidman, or Kathy Bates. Their figures are more straight. Shape 2 is curvy. Think Marilyn Monroe or Catherine Zeta-Jones and Sophia Loren. They're more of an hourglass. And Shape 3 looks like J-Lo, Beyonce, or Jessica Alba. They're bulkier on bottom.
And so what you do is you measure about 8 inches down.
Shape determined by measurements at the hip, waist, and thigh. Lee says with a number for size and a second for body type, a better fit is guaranteed.
I'm a 12.2.
I'm a 2.1.
I'm an 18.3.
So I'm back from the dressing room, and you can call me a believer. I tried on 2 pair of black pants. The first one, a size 2, shape 2. I thought they were fine. I would have bought them. But then I tried on a size 2, shape 1. And the difference was night and day. It's like they were made for me. A much better fit. And this is the pair I'm going home with.
We looked a lot different 50 years ago. And when fit was standardized back in the 40s, it was standardized on a standard hourglass shape. And that's what they use as this common fit model today.
But will designers buy in, creating 3 different fits for each size? The brand Alex New York is giving it a try.
What's the reaction been so far?
It's been mixed. Most people love the concept of it, but are a little concerned as to how to execute it at the store.
It is a tall order, as one woman works to change a decades-old system, proving one size doesn't fit all. For today, Janet Shamblian, NBC News, New York.
Kate White is the editor-in-chief of Cosmo magazine, Cosmopolitan, and Stacy London is a Today contributor. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Janet, obviously a believer now in Cricut's design, her sizing system. What about you, though, Stacy? Do you think that it could help women?
Absolutely. I think the concept is a brilliant idea. I think the problem is when you really get down to the practicalities of it. I think that the idea of creating sizing that is more particular to women of today as opposed to 40 or 50 years ago is very important. But to put it into practice may be a little harder than we think.
Why? What's so tricky? To me, the problem is that the sizes vary so dramatically. That, to me, is the bigger problem, Kate.
Yeah, they vary. They used to be more uniform, but over time, designers began to target certain demos, like teens or skinny rich women, and so the shapes varied. And also, we began to see more and more of vanity sizing, where over time, what designers did was take, let's say, what used to be a 6 and make it a 2.
Yeah, I mean, you can buy a 2 dress, but a whole family could live in it. Exactly. It really is much bigger than that. So that's just a psychological game that they are playing with consumers, with women.
Absolutely, and I think that also comes from women being psychologically tied to a size label. Mm-hmm. So, a lot of designers think they're going to sell more merchandise if they think that women feel younger, thinner, prettier in their clothes.
But now you're seeing size 0 or 00. It's almost, my good buddy comedian Joey Behar says, it's almost like the industry wants to make you disappear as women. I think it sends a dangerous
place to go because we made 2s really 4s and 6s. So by creating a 0 and 00, it just is crazy. It works for James Bond, but
right, exactly. License to Kill is one thing, but I do think that 00s it does also become this smaller is better aesthetic, which is very, very dangerous and can send the wrong message. At the same time, it's not just about the size label, right? I think with Cricut's philosophy, the idea is to marry size and shape.
Exactly.
That is a very, very very key element because it's not about size. It is about the cut of the clothing that you're trying on. Women forget that. They think they have to be an 8 in everything. But if they look at the cut of the clothing, that's also why sizes vary. If you're wearing a skinny trouser, that's going to be a bigger size for you than maybe a wide leg trouser.
Well, you're seeing it in jeans. I know you go in and there's such a variety of jeans really designed for different body types.
Right. And that's why it's better to find the designers or the brands over
that
time
work
work for you consistently.
And I agree with Kate. I really believe that the problem with Fitlogic is that, one of the things that designers do is cut for a specific demographic. And that's why once you find your great designers, you don't let go of them. Designers and the industry are not going to want to let go of the way they size, not to give it up for this universal, because then they don't have the edge with the consumer that they once had. So you're really talking about the consumer versus the designer in the industry, who's doing what for whom.
But isn't it likely that the consumers would demand this? If they, like Janet, they go and try this and say, this really is what works for me.
Yeah, no, I feel her frustration. We all do, but particularly when you buy online and you think you're getting one size.
Inevitably you aren't.
Right. But I think as women, we're obsessed with being thin and we don't always speak up, and so we've ended up in this boat.
And she's the only one doing it, right? At this point?
Yeah. I mean, I think, again, the concept is really interesting. It's going to be able to marry her ideas with the design market itself.
And tough fit. All right. Yeah. Thank you both, Kate and Stacy. Pleasure to see you both.